Hey, Shabbat Shalom everyone. This weekend is Tisha B'Av, Saturday night, Sunday. And for me, Tisha B'Av was one of the most difficult days to connect to spiritually. Because we're being asked on this day to feel bad and to mourn the destruction of an institution of Jewish life, the temple, that you and I never experienced. We don't even know anyone that ever served in the temple. Now we know that that temple had the Levites singing every Friday night, Shabbat, and creating this incredible atmosphere. We know that Jews pilgrimage 3 times a year to the temple. We know that offerings and sacrifices were brought there. And we know that the Sanhedrin, the Jewish high court, sat there, but we still never experienced it. And what we do, though, is to understand the relevance of Tisha B'Av to 2021. It's incredibly relevant because we believe that all of the terrible tragedies and sufferings that have befallen the Jewish people, from the Inquisitions to the pogroms to the Holocaust to things that we saw this year. What happened in Meron, the 4,000 rockets being rained down on Israel from Hamas, Surfside. We need a day to process these tragedies and the suffering because we see them as linked to the destruction of the temple. You see, the temple was a place that God commanded us to build for Hashem to be close to us. Vasuli mikdash, the Torah says, God says in the Torah, make for me a sanctuary, v'shachanti b'tocham, and I will dwell with you. The temple was our attempt to have God close to us. When we say the temple was destroyed, that means we distanced ourselves from Hashem. We did something that made God leave. And what we're trying to do on Tisha B'Av is trying to bring God back. And we're trying to recognize what happens when there is distance between ourselves and our Creator. That means that we are left subject to the void in the world, and suffering and tragedy happens. It's only when there's closeness with God that we can feel protected. And therefore we have this one day to process the suffering and the tragedy, but not just to lament and to mourn, but to do something to bring it back. The rabbis teach that on Tisha B'Av itself is the day the Messiah will come and rebuild their temple. Because the day of Tisha B'Av is not only a day to lament, it's a day to restore. And if in fact the second temple was destroyed, the last one, because of sinat chinam, because of baseless hatred, then as Rav Kook, the first chief rabbi of Israel, taught, it will only be rebuilt because of baseless love. And what we should do on this day is process the tragedies and ask ourselves, how can we create more love in our community? Less divisiveness, less splintering off into different groups, more respect. And if we can use this day as we fast and as we lament, then we can hopefully make this the last Tisha B'Av. I invite you on Saturday night and Sunday to come to MJE and to be able to use this time to process the tragedy and to B'ezrat Hashem, to please God, restore, and to renew our relationship with Hashem. So this will, please God, be the very last Tisha B'Av. Shabbat Shalom.